Keep up with the news now because it moves at such a fast pace every day. There's so many things happening and so many things breaking. Emergency, stories that blow you away, and revelations and so on that happen behind the scenes in the world of QAnon and 8chan, or in American intelligence media that tries to discredit those individual Q leaks. But it's certainly been the busiest time in political history. Certainly there's more media than there's ever been, there's more propaganda than there's ever been. Now they're in a full-blown campaign to try for war in Syria, once again because it failed in 2013. But the globalists are never going to give up on Syria, because it was a pivotal country. It was named in their Project for a New American Century, in the countries they were going to invade, which was Iraq, Iran, Afghanistan, Syria. They didn't mention Ukraine, funnily enough. But of course the big target, Israel's old enemy, Iran. And that doesn't mean to say that I'm with, Israel, if you support Israel, that you must be against all Muslims or whatever. If you're against Islam as Sharia and the horrible things in that, then you must support Israel. No, there's nothing like that. And people are starting to realise it now with the smears against Jeremy Corbyn in the paper. Jeremy Corbyn was the only one that was correct about the Russian Skripal poisoning. He could have gloated about that. He could have came out and said, I was right. It isn't Russia. And now I'm vindicated. But he didn't, because he's pretty much too weak to do that. And Boris could have been destroyed, really. Because he lied, he was caught, but it doesn't matter because he's a Bullingdon boy. But did the media that called him, Putin's useful idiot, or, a Russian agent, Soviet spy, traitor, unpatriotic, did they apologise? Did they say, we're sorry, Corbyn, you were right actually about this? No, they double down, they carry on smearing him. And the right carry on virtue signalling while they say, yeah, police are the problem, there's too many paedophile police in Telford, Rotherham, Oxford, Luton, Barnsley, so we need more of them on the streets to tackle knife crime. The same people that say, oh, isn't it terrible, there's all these terrorists around, let's keep giving money to Saudi Arabia to stop them. They're the ones funding the terrorists. ISIS are coming from Saudi Arabia. They came out of Turkey initially, they went into Lebanon and Syria and Iraq and, the Levant. That's what it is ISIL, Islamic State, Iraq and the Levant. And it's ISIS and Daesh and whatever else you want to call it, but that's where it came from. It was an invention of the CIA. It's the same as Al-Qaeda, funnily enough. Same flag. Now it's taken on a life of its own, of course, which is causing death of its own. But it's not doing that independently of the corporations in the world. It's funded by HSBC, and when they get caught, they just get fined and a slap on the wrist. Their vehicles are all Motorola, vehicles and so on. They've got good PR, they've got big ties with corporations and big corporations, as well as political heavyweights like Tony Blair. I don't know why he's a political heavyweight, and Soros and so on. The White Helmets, they call themselves Syria's Civil Defence Forces. They're not even Syria sanctioned. It's completely against the Syria government, so they shouldn't even call themselves Syrian Civil Defence. That should be illegal. They came out of Turkey. They were funded by Soros and so on. They've been given obscene amounts of money, and the PR they have has enabled them to win an Oscar, for God's sake. Even as Hollywood is dying and dwindling, and Roseanne is basically crushing it in her hand. So maybe we're at the point now where the left realise they've jumped the shark. Maybe they're at the point now where they realise that these algorithms aren't such a good idea. Now they're being turned on us as well. They came for the socialists, and I did not speak out because I was not a socialist. They came for the Jews, and I did not speak out because I was not a Jew. Then they came for me, and there was no one left to speak for me. Pastor Morelli's poem has never been more appropriate. No one spoke out with Count Dankula, really, just a handful of people. Not enough. The case hasn't been dropped. It should have been thrown out completely, and those police should have been investigated individually. But no one's really speaking out about common purpose either, which has corrupted the police. The single most corrupting influence of the police and the judiciary in this country is common purpose. And it can be tracked to letters back from the police telling you exactly how much each department has spent on common purpose training, on NLP training, on reframing. And there are documents and letters detailing the people's personality changes as they're undergoing this training. We know exactly what it's for. Sharia compliance. That's just a fact, and that's happened. And most people don't even know about it. Still, the only person who speaks about it is Anne-Marie Waters. And so that's probably why the only party that is left to vote for is Anne-Marie Waters' For Britain party. She's the only person I've ever seen speak out about common purpose. She knows there's corruption within the police. She knows that it's not a solution to just put more of them on the street to tackle knife crime. The right better start admitting that they're hypocritical. They can't start going against the establishment and then running to the establishment when they need it. It's not better to have a police state that goes around just intimidating and searching absolutely everyone again and again and again and bullying you. That isn't any kind of solution. Liberty is important. I know our safety and our security is important as well, but it's nothing without liberty, without the freedoms that people fought for. They didn't fight for that security and safety. They fought for the liberty and the free speech to continue. That is not supposed to be a dirty word. I mean, there are so few libertarians and actual liberal people that it's shocking. You're either far right or far left. You're either extremely, you know, oh, shut down the leftists, or on the left, oh, shut down the right wing. Everyone's shutting down each other. No one has any freedom left at the end of it. So it really does take more people with common sense to rise above these artificial divisions and try and unify when we know we've already been divided.